are joining us for a pivotal themed week here on Property Tribes. It's Axe the Tenant Tax Awareness Week, and I'm joined by co-founder Steve Bolton. And Steve, this is such a critical week because something massive is happening on the 6th of April, and we're concerned that landlords still aren't aware of it.
Absolutely, Vanessa. Section 24 goes live on the 6th of April, so that's when the counter starts ticking essentially. So people are going to be starting to pay more tax from that date forwards. And what we're doing here, we're at the ALA conference today, over 1,000 landlords and letting agents here. And for the rest of this week, we're going to be raising awareness because estimates say that at least 1.4 million landlords are still completely clueless, have no idea about Section 24 and the tenant tax.
Indeed, and when you got the Tenant Tax Coalition together, that was another landmark point of the campaign because this was really uniting a lot of different bodies that had different agendas, and we've all come together under this Tenant Tax Coalition banner because that's really the way to get this message out.
Yeah, absolutely. We started with the judicial review, and that was thwarted in the High Court back in October 2016. But as the benefit of that process was it raised awareness. It got organisations to work together, like Association of Residential Letting Agents, the NLA, the RLA, Scottish Association of Landlords, and lots of others. Letting agencies, suppliers to the private rented sector, as well as thousands of landlords. So it was a great sort of catalyst and starting point. The coalition now are meeting on a monthly basis, talking on a regular basis, sharing research, information, lobbying activities. We've got a list of MPs that a letter went to the Chancellor from 16 Conservative MPs by one of the landlord associations, organised that recently. So there's a lot of activity that has been happening, that's planned, and you'll start to see coming out in the coming weeks and months.
And it's great that you've got ALA on board as a supporter because that opens up even more kind of access to landlords through their letting agent members. And obviously it's great that you've got a platform here today at the ALA conference.
Absolutely. With 1,000 people here, you think how many, all the big, Countrywides and LSL, a lot of the big corporates are here as well as the smaller landlords. And so we're having meetings with them today and talking about how they can raise awareness. And the talk I'm going to be doing later on will really spell it out quite clearly that we're encouraging all letting agents to write to all of their landlords. We've even written the text for them so they don't need to think too much about it. So anybody who's a letting agent that wants to get in contact with their landlords, if they haven't been done so already, then we're just going to make that process as easy as possible. Because still, every day we get emails into the campaign, comments on our Facebook page, on social media. Just discovered this, I didn't think it impacted me, but actually it does. I'm going to end up paying a lot more tax. I'm going to sell, I'm going to put my rents up. So still mass unawareness exists really.
Now what we want to do from this week's campaign is to really saturate the social web with content about Section 24 and the Axe the Tenant Tax campaign. So Steve, if people are watching this interview, we want them to share it on Facebook, on Twitter. Very small action that could take 5 seconds but could really help send the message far and wide.
Absolutely, and I think the people that are into social media, I'm aware not everybody is, but if you're on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, then please get involved. We've got campaigns, just search for tenant tax on those platforms. If you're more traditional, then hopefully you know how to open a website. If you're not into social media, then tenanttax.co.uk is the sort of starting point. If you like, and there's lots of resources on there, how you can write to your MP, meet your MP, information packs that you can download and send out to people. There's a social media action plan on there. So wide variety of things, but please get involved. Nothing will change if people just sit back and do nothing. We've got to get over the landlord apathy that generally exists, more so in what I would call the accidental landlord kind of category.
Now, I've actually written to our MP, Anne Milton, who is the Conservative MP for Guildford, where we live, and I'm hoping that we'll get an interview with her for this week, but it remains to be seen because we're filming this before I know the answer to that, if you know what I mean. But Steve, the number one thing we want landlords to do, if they haven't already done so, is to keep lobbying their MPs.
Yeah, definitely. If you've not met your MP, then that's the number one thing that people can do, is actually meet with the MP. It's quite easy to do. Some people might be TV. I've never done it before, so I remember meeting my MP. I was a little bit nervous about it, but actually, as people that have been there and done it, we can support you. We can provide you with documents to prepare you beforehand. If you want to have a coaching call with one of the team, it's not a problem. In some cases, if you want somebody to go with you, then we can probably get somebody in your local area that'd be happy to accompany you. But the one thing, I met the Chancellor about a month ago. We had 10 minutes sort of one-to-one talking about this, and it was really clear that both he and lots of other MPs that we've spoken to have not had enough meetings with people where the impact of this is going to be really clearly explained to them. And the Chancellor sort of said, look, I've not really seen any evidence that convinces me, and certainly none of my constituents have come forward putting this across in the way that you're explaining, and they don't see it as a problem. So they're either saying that's either the public view that they're putting out, or they know it's going to be a problem, but they're just going to wait for a couple of years, which is what happened in Ireland. It took about 3 years for that similar tax to be overturned.
And it caused a lot of pain along the way.
Massively, yeah. 50% increases in rent. That was the first time round, late 90s. They've just basically done it again a few years ago. Only 10 days ago, the Irish government, the housing minister was quoted, and some research is coming out basically saying they're now looking to incentivise private landlords to come back into the private rented sector. And it's, you couldn't make this stuff up. It's
almost farcical.
It is farcical. It's absolutely farcical. So, with the ban on letting agency fees that they're talking about, the Section 24, and I think the other thing, it's not just about the tenant tax, it's about what else are they going to do. If we don't start fighting back, if we don't come together as landlords to say enough is enough, you are going to tax people into oblivion, and you are going to decimate the private rented sector. Rents will go up, mark my words. Somebody can watch this in 2 or 3 years' time. We were here, we were saying this. These are the early warning signs, but it's about individuals getting involved to spread the word, take individual action, and help us raise awareness, and especially with MPs, that they're the ones who are going to make the difference.
Fantastic. Well, all this week on Property Tribes, we're going to be sharing content from the Tenant Tax Campaign stakeholders and coalition members, and we hope that you will join us in this community-driven initiative to raise awareness and make a difference. 6th of April, we can't stress enough, is D-Day for Section 24. It becomes reality. It's going to impact on landlords' tax returns, and we need to stand together and keep the momentum up. And this whole week is designed to keep that momentum going, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks, V, to you guys and all the other organisations out there that are helping us raise awareness. It's the difference that makes the difference.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your efforts as well, Steve, because you're the driver behind all of this. And I know you've put a huge amount of time and effort into it, and Chris Cooper and your team. So thank you. And please join us for the rest of Axe the Tenant Tax Awareness Week, all this week on Property Tribes. And please do share this interview on the social web. And also, if you haven't already done so, please get in touch with your MP. And we thank you for your support.